Hey, deserving listeners, it's time to continue our journey with Ed and Rose on 90 Day Fiancé. My name is Dr. Kirk Honda. I'm a therapist and a professor, and I thought I would watch this and react to it and see if I have anything of interest or usefulness to say to you, the watchers. Let's see what happens.
I know.
Don't worry.
I was scared.
What? You're scared like a big baby.
Okay, this is good. I'm glad we're getting more of her personality. The show is at least showing us more of who she really is. And right, from her standpoint, she's like, geez, you're a baby about things. This is how I live all the time. You're so scared of everything.
After seeing how Rose lives in her village, it makes me wonder, who wouldn't want to come to America for a better life?
I'm surprised that this is the first time it's occurred to him. Is he that ignorant of how the rest of the world, or not rest of the world, but how a lot of places in the world and the Philippines, the way that it is in these communities? It's surprising that he's surprised.
And I already have questions about money in her sister, Maria, because, she asked me for money. And is that what it's all about for Rose, my future wife?
So I've said this before with these two, but it bears repeating because maybe I haven't said it in a while, which is that it's common for people, if you live in a family, no security is secure. Money is not secure, food is not secure, shelter, safety, legal help, political power, medical help, mental health. None of these things are available. Maybe you get a little bit here and there, and it's a struggle. It's a fight. Just to give you an example, say the mother in the family gets breast cancer. Well, in a lot of communities, I don't know if this is true for Rose's family, but it very likely is, that she could have treatable breast cancer and die within a year because she doesn't have the money to pay for health care. Imagine that. Imagine your mother contracts some curable cancer at the age of 45 or 55, and if you just had $1,000, you would be able to give her the treatment she needs and likely give her another 30 years on this planet, and that you can keep her around to help you with your son and meet your grandkids, be there for all those things and love you. And just imagine how crappy you would feel. I mean, that's a terrible word, crappy. How scared you would feel and how angry you might feel, just that people like Ed just take it for granted. Like, well, if his mom gets cancer, then it's a given that she's going to get health care. Now, of course, you can make an argument in the United States that's not always true, but I hope you get my point. And so that constant state of insecurity and that constant state of fear, not knowing if you're going to survive into the next year, is ever present in a lot of people's lives. And so when someone in your family, you have 10 people in your family, and one person meets someone in the United States, and like Ed, and Ed just has, even though Ed might not be rich in the American standards, he is virtually a millionaire in Filipinos, in this town standards. And why wouldn't she share, being that she's connected to Ed? Well, one, why wouldn't Ed share his money and privilege and safety with her? And two, why wouldn't she share their safety and security with the rest of the family? The sister asked him for money. She said because she was going bankrupt and her business was falling apart, and she needed a little bit of extra money to help her get by so that she could continue to make money. Now, from Ed's point of view, it sounds like a scam. It's like, oh, I'm being scammed for money. Well, it's possible that if the sister's business doesn't survive, that half of the family's income will go down the tubes. In the United States, we tend to think like, well, you're an entrepreneur, you decided to go into business for yourself. If things don't work out, then you can always just go back to work at the post office or get a job as a waiter or go back to school and work at Microsoft. In privileged societies in the United States, you have options. In this community, it's possible that when the sister talks about her business failing, that could be the right angle of lack of security direction for this family, where everyone in this family might somewhat depend on that sister earning money because they share with each other. In the United States, when you have a career, the expectation is you're not going to be giving your money to your siblings or your nephews or your parents. In the United States, we're individualistic, so our money is ours. Whereas in the Philippines, it's not that way. People share with each other. If one person is rich and the other person is poor in a family, it's just a given that you're going to share. You're going to help each other out. That's kind of a nice way to live if you think about it. When the sister asked him for money, it's possible that it comes from that cultural understanding and it's not some sort of scam or insult to him. But to him, given his cultural pocket, it does feel like an insult, which he's entitled to, but he shouldn't assume that his way of being is the way everyone is, and he shouldn't assume that his privilege is the way that everyone feels. And he should try to extend himself into this family and understand that. And it's driving me crazy that he's not, because through that misunderstanding, he could really, hurt other people's feelings and make other people feel like crap for asking for just common security that they're trying to get. Now, is it possible that Rose and her sister and the family are scamming Ed and they don't like him and Rose has no feelings for him? Yeah, it's possible. But we don't know yet. There's no data either direction, in my eyes.
Is it not about love? Am I just her meal ticket and her way out?
Again, as I've said before, it can be both. It can be both her meal ticket and she could be in love, or she could be thinking, well, I could fall in love with him, or I could learn to love him as a human being and enjoy being around him. I'm not in love with him the way I was with a fella in the past, but I really appreciate him and I really enjoy being around him. There's a spectrum there, or a lot of options there.
Gusto daw niyang maligo.
Sige, ako rin maliligo na.
My dad say we want to shower too with you.
Together now?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
He's going to take a shower with the father of the woman that he's dating. And then he's like, okay, sure. It's great. When in Rome, just follow the thing. The funny thing would be is if everyone in this town would think that was weird and this dad has some sort of kink about taking showers with his daughter's boyfriends. But I suspect that it is, a cultural norm in this town.
Oh my God! Whoa! Rose, what is that?
I think mouse.
That's a mouse or a rat?
I think so.
There's some mangy old rat on his flip-flops right there. Oh, I love the show. It's so great. Also, become a patron on patreon.com. That's the way we know that you like the show. Also, subscribe, hit the bell below, and also comment below. On the third date, have you ever showered with the parents of the person you were dating? Let us know that story.
How do I get over there?
Take this.
Just throw it?
Yeah.
Oh, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
If you made a fictional movie, you wouldn't be able to make such comedy like this.
So there's something that I wanted to ask you. Last night I had a hard time sleeping because it was so hot. So I wanted to take a vacation for a couple days with Rose, if you're okay with that.
Okay lang, basta alagaan mo siya ng
Just
maayos.
I promise.
Okay.
I promise.
Okay, so good for Ed. He's being respectful. He's asking nicely. And some other fellas might not have even asked, or they would have had a worse attitude about it. And, kudos to everyone here for communicating well during this potentially conflictual time.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll see you again soon.
Okay.
I'm so glad we're going on this vacation so I can figure out a couple things for myself. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Because I came to the Philippines to marry Rose, but I'm not 100% sure it's true love on her end. So I need some more alone time with her before I put a ring on her finger.
That's good, Ed. You want to find out if she really loves you. That's great. Hopefully you can navigate that well without being accusatory or hurtful to her.
Okay, let's go.
All right. Well, that does it for another episode of Psychology in Seattle. Thanks for joining me out there. Please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.